I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Amon Green and Nick Lucci in the backfield, and this is Green. Look at Green, all by himself. Twenty, 10, touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
That was a game. I was there. Josh, you and I talked about this just before we came on the air on what the sound was going to be when we started the show. And we're like, oh, how about you go and find this amazing run by Amon Green, 98 yards, franchise record. Broncos at Lambeau.
Yep.
December 28th, 31-3 Packers. And I'm going, geez, 2003. Where was I? Oh, at the game.
You were at the game. You were there.
Here's why I know that, though. And by the way, what's up, Wisconsin? Good morning. See, I want to jump right in, man.
I know. You're excited.
I am, and I'm nervous. I'm excited, and I'm nervous. And then we talked to Dario yesterday, and he's like, have you guys looked at their schedule? And I'm like, oh, now I'm excited. And this morning I woke up, and I reread all of the things from yesterday, and Josh Jacobs is not feeling well, and I'm like, oh, now I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Back and forth.
This is a weird day. All right, Inside Wisconsin Sports. What's going on? Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios and powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That game back in 2003, it was December 28th, 2003. Still to this day, it is the longest run in Packers history, a 98-yard run by Amon Green. In that game, he had 218 rushing yards total. Absolutely nuclear. But here's why that game sticks out to me. First things first, I believe that was the last game of the season back then because it wasn't so many weeks. And the preseason was one game longer, but I think it was the last game. It was definitely the last game at Lambeau. Here's why I remember this. There was a moment when I remember looking at the stands and everybody had their back to the field. And they were looking up at the press boxes. The south end zone didn't exist. That whole new thing wasn't there. And I did not understand. I mean, I graduated high school in 2001. So 20-year-old Trevor had really no clue about life in general.
Sure.
But everybody was looking up at the press boxes. And then all of a sudden, all at once, the stadium just uproar. I mean, exploded. And the sideline exploded. And I'm like, what in the world are they? Oh, we needed the Cardinals to beat the Vikings.
Oh, that was that. Yeah.
And it happened on a last-second touchdown and essentially handed the Packers the NFC North title. Of the top 5 moments that we'll get to at some point, if we haven't talked about it already on the show, of like sports moments in live settings, that sticks out to me like crazy. And that's why I didn't remember that I was there until I started reading going, oh my God. I remember that like yesterday. Everybody had their back to the field. It was like a protest, only not. It was, what are we doing? Why are we watching that? And then have you been in a sporting event, Josh, when all of a sudden some sort of news happens, whether it's via your phone or through text messages or alerts, where it has nothing to do with what's going on the court or the field?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Which one was it for you?
I've been at, I don't remember exactly what year game, but I remember being at a Brewers game and everyone was worried about the Packers. It was like the Brewers had like a Sunday game during the Packers game and people kept going out like in between innings into the concourse to where all the TVs in the concourse had the Packers game on.
I love that.
And then people would just start grouping together and watching the Packers. And then you'd hear like now batting. You'd be like, crap, we got to get back to the Brewer game.
Exactly.
You
That's
run
awesome.
back out.
Oh, that's fun. All right. Well, that was a game we played against the Broncos in 2003. There have been 5 games since then. and another this weekend that, frankly, we are just unsure on. And I don't know how to put my finger on it. We talked yesterday to Dario, who says, have you looked at their schedule? They haven't beaten anybody. Well, last I checked, they've beaten somebody 11 times.
I gotta say, is this you said about the that was the same year that the Cardinals needed to beat the Vikings for that game to matter, right?
Yeah.
So that was the game where we got the legendary Paul Allen call of the of that touchdown. Do you remember that?
I don't think I ever heard it. Let's do it.
Get back, guys.
Here it is. The season's on the line. Two receivers left and right. McCown takes the snap. He steps up. He's all by himself. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs.
Good poll.
Oh,
you know what?
The algorithms. The algorithms like every month, once a month, to be like, hey, here's a highlight video of the top 5 Paul Allen calls. And that one's always in there.
How'd you guys start the show on Friday? Celebrating a Vikings loss in 2003.
Yeah. That's how we got there.
And let's talk about the Bears while we're at it.
Yeah, might as well.
Broncos. Got to be about the Broncos right now. They're 11-2. And we talked yesterday to Darnell Melendez, and he said, who have they beat, right? And I said, well, they've beaten somebody 11 times and only lost 2 of those games. So that's concerning. They have 55 sacks. I reread that this morning to make sure I wasn't wrong, because that stat seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Which team has Micah Parsons? Oh, we do? How many sacks do we have? 20 fewer.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so tough. I understand even if you play, bad teams and your schedule is lighter than most, which was Dario's argument, you're still getting to the quarterback that many times.
Yeah.
That's an undeniable stat. You can't look at that and go, well, yeah, but who'd they play? An NFL team.
Yeah.
That's who they played.
Not college. That's the Badgers.
Right. Wasn't a Pee Wee football team. These are grown men.
So much like this last season, when Jordan Love threw an interception early in that game, and the Bears had all of the takeaways coming into that game that they did, we're like, oh, great. Here we go.
Right.
We're going to turn the ball over 3 times because apparently the Bears have a golden horseshoe up there, and you know what? They're just going to take the ball away from us. This is going to be bad. Nope. Turned out to be pretty good.
Yep.
I wonder if the same thing's going to happen against Denver. Something's going to happen early on where we're going to give up a sack and we're going to go, oh, God. Like, why didn't Rasheed Walker see that coming? What happened, Melton? Not Bo Melton. He's on the offensive line, although Anthony Melton is. Honestly, I'm not sure where Bo Melton
could be. Who knows?
They said in the presser yesterday, Rob Domofsky noticed that Bo Melton was in the offensive color of the jersey. So in practice, one team wears green, one team wears white.
Mm-hmm.
And they noticed that Bo Melton was with the offense again yesterday in practice. And Rob's like, so what are we doing now? Which Matt goes, you're very observant. Must not be colorblind, which I took offense to because I'm colorblind.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't talking to you. He was talking to Rob.
He was not.
So
I can still tell the difference.
They're wearing their all whites in Denver, this is in my head. And we're going to talk about this, it's maybe at 8:00. We'll give like our final thoughts before we talk to Andy Herman, kind of breaking down our final thoughts. But the white jerseys definitely plays a role in how I'm feeling, which is crazy. That's how many pro and cons I'm looking at with this game, to where the color of the jerseys is being factored in to if the Packers can win this game.
Do you feel like you're grasping at straws?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because there's way too many arguments on both sides of the ball, of the field for me to feel confident one way or another on how this team's going to do, how this game's going to go. And so the more that I'm indecisive, the more I'm looking for other things to try to help make a decision.
And you found that the white jerseys are going to sway you.
The white jerseys might sway me.
That's
8:00.
the most Josh thing ever.
Stay tuned for that at 8:00.
I got it.
I got it.
It's the cleats.
Don't worry, everybody. I figured it out.
There is one concerning piece that came out of 1265 yesterday, and it's that Josh Jacobs is still dealing with the left knee contusion or the bone bruise that he got when he bounced his knee off the concrete that is MetLife Stadium's turf against the Giants back in mid-November. What's concerning about this is we literally just talked about that, was it yesterday or the day before? For sure this week, on how not healthy the Packers are quite yet, even though on the receiving side, getting Jaden Reed back, Christian Watson's healthy. Like, we're working on Matthew Golden. Dontavian Wicks is still dealing with something, but for the most part, we're pretty confident. And then all of a sudden yesterday, we find out Josh Jacobs is still battling. So, Matt, is there a chance he's going to play on Sunday?
I think anytime the guy doesn't practice, there's always concern. So we'll see. He's been battling through. It's not, I mean, he is doing everything in his power to get ready to go.
He did not participate yesterday.
Don't like that answer.
He did not participate the day before. But we've talked numerous times to Dr. Mike Ryan, the Packers team physician. And they have indeed made us confident that when they make decisions like this, everybody's on the same page. So Matt says it's always a concern when they don't practice. But Josh Jacobs, that is this something new that you're dealing with? Like, did anything happen?
Same thing I've been battling with the last couple of weeks. So we'll see how it goes. I definitely didn't get hit on it last game. I did get hit on it in Detroit. But I think it's one of those things where just running or standing too long, it kind of just swelling and things like that. It gets a little stiff on me. But besides that, yeah, that's really it.
So Jacob said that he actually got another scan, Josh, on Monday. That seemed to fly under the radar.
Yeah.
Apparently it's swelling. It has fluid on it. It's his left knee. They didn't find anything wrong, thank God. Seems like there may be some concern here, though.
Yeah, I think the difference in the answer between what Matt LaFleur said and the difference in comparison to what Josh Jacobs just said. That's one of the things I don't like about Matt LaFleur. What kind of answer is that? And then especially you just said everyone's on the same page. Well, Matt LaFleur comes out with this almost Aaron Rodgers cryptic-like response of, well, anytime, yeah, obviously there's concern anytime that a player doesn't practice. And then they go to Jacobs and they're like, yeah, I mean, it didn't get banged at all in the last game where I played. So, I mean, it did in Detroit, but I mean, I played in Chicago. So, yeah, Oh,
right.
That's a lot different.
Well, I love how Matt LaFleur just doesn't like to play his cards. He doesn't want to tip his hand. Everything.
Fine, but it doesn't matter if then Josh Jacobs is going to go and play the hand for you.
Well, let's ask him. Josh Jacobs, you playing?
I mean, they got to kind of tell me I can't play for me not to play. So, I mean, for me, that's where my head is at. But I'm also realistically just day to day right now.
Day to day.
Okay.
So didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday. He says he's day to day. Matt has, well, I mean, anytime a player doesn't practice, there's a concern. So back to Mike Ryan, though, for a second. Doc Ryan, we talked to him about how does this work? What happens when a player wants to play, but you say, maybe not? Like, do you force them not to play or do you keep them out of practice? Well, apparently there was a bit of a conversation between Josh and Doc.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Doc was like, man, just chill. But also, it's just me being smart too, because I don't want to, technically I can go out there and practice, but I don't want to go out there and then make it even more swollen. And then game days, it's harder to, actually play. So it's just being smart right now.
I think he plays.
I do too, but do we want him to?
Yes.
Do we not have confidence in the backup, Emmanuel Wilson?
I do, but I still want Jacobs to play. I don't think Emmanuel Wilson makes that run on 3rd and 1 against the Bears down to the 5. That was Josh Jacobs showing who he is. And I still need that. And that's another point we're going to talk about later in the show of just when we look at and we're analyzing this game of the importance of this game. I'm not looking at this game going, yeah, rest Jacobs now because we need him against the Bears. No, we need Jacobs against the Broncos.
Yeah. It makes me nervous, though, because when a guy is dealing with an injury like this, like, how much do we risk it? We know where we're at. We know what we're fighting for. We know how important all of the games are, and The one against the Bears next week is one that we really need to have Josh Jacobs for, and he's got swelling, and he's day-to-day, and he's not practicing. And so we've talked about rushing somebody like Jordan Love back after he was handing the ball off with his right hand the week after he got hurt. So it's not 100% by any means, but I just get nervous when we play guys that are banged up. But to your point yesterday, Josh, everybody's banged up this time of year.
Yep.
What did your Bucks do last night? How'd they do this? Bucks 116, Celtics 101.
Yeah, I had to do like a triple take to make sure I was reading that right. An incredible game from the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis. Giannis still not playing. The Bucks were 8.5-point home dogs, and they win by 15.
Okay.
I mean, crazy showing. Everyone stepped up. Kuzma stepped up. Bobby stepped up. These guys went and they put up numbers. They did everything they needed to, and they were down by 14 at one point. It's very crazy to me how this Bucks team has been awful in the time that Giannis has been out, except for against two teams that they absolutely should have lost. The Pistons, that one night that he goes down, and then the last night against the Celtics, where I understand it's at home, but there's no way they should have beat the Celtics last night, and they did. Team stepped up. So it shows the potential. I just don't know how that doesn't work long term. I think it works once.
Well, let's celebrate the wins. Bobby Portis had a double-double off the bench, 27 points, 10 rebounds. Kuzma had 31 in the game, and he shot the lights out of the gym, 13 of 17 from the field. All right, well, do we like hang our hats on this? Like, okay. Or do we just go, okay?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's more confusing than anything because you're going, wait a minute. Now, who is this team? Who is this team that can do this in comparison to what we saw in an 8-game losing streak? It brings up a lot of questions.
The way that you phrased the down 14 points in the word Bucks had me thinking that we were all of a sudden talking about Thursday night football. Did you see this? It has nothing to do with Wisconsin, but Coach Bowles not happy. Didn't grab the audio because it's not worth playing.
Yeah. They blew it.
Blew it.
You know, if you want to tie it back to Wisconsin, it does immediately tie into the NFC and the crazy NFC seeding that's coming down the line.
I know better than to think I know what I'm talking about in that category, though, because it's a hot mess.
I mean, from first to last is the difference of one game.
Yep.
Nuts.
Fascinating. I love this time of year for that reason. And I'm also glad fantasy sports are done before the last game of the season because it doesn't matter at that point most of the time.
Exactly.
In the playoffs, I'm in. So I think I have Bijan Robinson on my team. Keyword think. No idea if I started him last night or not.
Yeah.
So I'll look at that in the break. Hey, GB won. Let's
Yay!
go, Doug Gottlieb.
Although that means probably no broken clipboards. You don't probably break a clipboard in celebration.
I was unaware if there was a clipboard that remained intact or not.
Yeah.
I will. I know that they had a long bus ride home last night. I'll shoot him a text this morning. He's up.
Yeah, just
Maybe
do a check.
Listening.
Do a clipboard check.
Just clipboard check. All right, what else do we got going on in today's show? Did you notice that Phillip Rivers, a day or so ago, talked about his weight, and that made Josh and I think, if you could play a sport again at any age in your prime, what would you go back and try to play now? I'm 42. I don't even want to play beer league softball anymore, let alone put an NFL jersey on. But we've had some quarterbacks in the past that can't remove themselves from the field, and it feels like it's too long, per se. Brett Favre.
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron Rodgers. Dude blows Achilles the first play as a non-Packer, or almost the first play.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. All right, when we come back, we'll talk about that in the I Have Questions portions of the show. If you could go and play a sport again at any age in your prime, how old are you? What would you go and try to play? And would you try to play it now? I'll take the under. Hey, remember, a week from today, Friday, December 19th, Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha presents the Brat Bowl 3 at the world-famous Brat Stop in Kenosha. All-day live events starting at 9 a.m. with 670 The Score, Our Foes from the South, and the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network featuring all your favorite on-air talent. Plus, bring your new or gently used coats to donate to Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha's annual coat drive. It's Brat Bowl 3, Friday, December 19th, starting at 9 a.m. at the iconic Brat Stop in Kenosha. Brought to you by Ziegler's Subaru of Kenosha. For the great experience, visit ZieglerKenoshaSubaru.com, and by Siding Unlimited. Visit SidingUnlimited.com for their honest price guarantee. I Have Questions is next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hey, Wisconsin, remember, if you missed any part of today's show or shows this week, you can listen anytime on wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify. Pull it up, search Inside Wisconsin Sports on your favorite app, hit the follow button, and you can catch up on every episode, every hour, every highlight, whenever it works for you. However, we're glad that you're listening live right now. Here we are. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Josh?
Yes?
I have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Side note, Ann Ocanto, we are getting your text messages. Did you see that?
I sure did.
Happy Friday, guys. Hey, let me know if you guys are getting my texts. I keep getting this weird message back. We got you. We hear you loud and clear. Keep them coming.
Yep. Thanks for joining.
If you have questions, get them in. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. There was some question about Philip Rivers' weight, Josh.
Yeah, so Philip Rivers, first of all, if you don't know, he used to be a quarterback 5 years ago in the NFL, and he's back, and he's playing for the Colts, and he had his presser, and he was asked some questions about being out for 5 years.
Phil, it's a tough game. Physically, you ready for it? Ready for this?
Yeah, we're gonna find out that too. I think so. I know. I know it is tough, and I know 5 years is a long time. Believe me, that weighed on me a lot. It being so long, but it also is a game I played a long time and stayed in over the last 5 years. And I know high school ball is different, but staying involved in the game. And I watched the Colts and the Chargers every Sunday, about every snap, and I watch about every game there is. And I know that's not NFL playing quarterback. I know that's a far stretch from that, but it's not like I just kind of shut football down and I'm trying to pick it back up. I've been still been very into it since I've been gone. But
what is your playing weight? What do you weigh right now?
Right this second? I'm not sure, Greg. How about that? That's an honest answer. Your question a little better on the playing weight, Greg, and not what it was when I walked off the field in Buffalo. All right? I can tell you that. But then I'll follow that up with I ain't never ran away from anybody anyway. Right? So I'm gonna. They people say, well, they're gonna know you're gonna be right there, and it's like, well, they knew that for 16, 17 years. So
brilliant. So good. I love this for two reasons, and I think it ties into your question perfectly. First, he gets asked, are you ready for this, to play in this? And his answers of I know it's been 5 years. And, I know that coaching high school football, that's not the same, but I've been watching every Colts and Chargers game. I'm like, that's not a good enough answer.
You're ready.
And then he's like, what about your weight? Well, I'm not really sure what I weigh right now. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Really haven't had the physical yet, have we?
This is great. This is going to be great.
So if you could go back and play a sport at any age in your prime, what sport is it? How old were you? And would you try to play it today if you got the chance? Josh?
Well, I still bowl. So I can't. I was so much better at bowling when I was 19.
What happened?
Than I am now. I had kids, and I stopped bowling. Honestly, that
came
was
off the practice field.
That was kind of it. Hey, you know what? Bowling. At one point I was bowling 4 days a week, and so I would love to go back to bowling in 19-year-old Josh. But my answer is going to be just playing basketball. When I was in college, we used to do pickup games all the time, and I had a pretty good shot. I worked, we played basketball every day.
Nice.
And that was a lot of fun. And now I would be embarrassed to see myself on a basketball court. I'd be like, no, If someone saw me on a basketball court, they'd be like, "Sir, I understand you're looking for your child, but please don't do it in the middle of a game. Like, can you please get off the court?" Like that would be the reaction I would get. Yeah. What about you?
It's probably basketball for me. I was 1 year behind athletically in high school. My birthday is in mid-April, and I was a late bloomer. I just couldn't seem to get my coordination. My growth spurt came between my sophomore and junior year of high school. I finally, at 6'4", my sophomore year, felt coordinated. I was playing basketball well. I felt good about myself. Got my license in April, 6'4". When I hit the basketball roster that October-ish, 6'7". So 3 months. Yeah. 3 months. 3 months, 3 inches. And I couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time.
No.
Finally, my senior year, I caught back up, but I still wasn't as good as I could have been. And then I went and played college basketball for a year, and I felt real confident. I could jump out of the gym. I was doing dunks that I didn't know I was capable of doing. So if I could go back into that time frame and play basketball, I would. Now, that was full court, banging basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, it is not Euro basketball here in America. It is big boys, you're underneath. I played the 3 in college, the 3-4, because I just wasn't aggressive enough. And I had a shot just like you. But if I could go back, I wouldn't even shoot. I would just dunk. I would just do the windmills, reverses, crazy lob alley-oops that I was capable of doing back then.
Can you dunk still?
Well, I haven't tried since I blew my Achilles. And I don't know if I'm going to try.
Okay.
I have been able to, I can grab the rim. I was at PT after I blew my Achilles, and they made me try, which I got sweaty about instantly, because that's, once you do that, you're like, how about no? Maybe not. I'd like to try again, but I'm nervous, man. Why were you trying to dunk? Well, I'm on the radio, and my co-host challenged to see if I could still dunk again. That's how every bad injury story starts.
Oh, come on.
It does.
Or great success, comeback story. That you could have that too.
If
Mr. Negative over here.
If I'm playing basketball, it's half court at best.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. I just want to see you dunk. I'd love to see that. Hey, we got a phoner, by the way.
Real quick, what's the wager? If I can still dunk.
What? No, I'm not giving you anything. This is more for your personal growth than mine.
I don't need it, but I'm probably gonna have to try it.
You've been sidelined. Well,
All right, I'm gonna go try to dunk. I'll be right back.
Okay.
No, let's go to the phone.
When you do that, we're gonna bring on Brian from South Milwaukee on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Brian, how we doing?
Hey, not bad, guys. Happy morning to you. Happy Friday.
Happy morning to you. So, Brian, what sport? How old were you? How dominant were you?
So I'd go back. The best sport I played in high school, it was wrestling. So that's exactly what I would do. I was in such great condition, and you take it for granted back then that how good of condition you're in.
Right.
That's what I would do.
I could eat McDonald's like it was my job back then and not put on a pound. I had a cookie last night.
Yeah.
Right.
Brian, that's a good one. I appreciate the call.
High school wrestling.
Wrestling more than most too. Like I had buddies in college that were on the wrestling team, and I mean, I've always been, a pretty big boy, and like this guy way shorter than me just could pick me up like I was nothing. I mean, those guys are in incredible shape.
Punks.
And I feel like the minute you're done, like that is a hard one to go back to.
It's impressive how those guys can put on and cut weight.
Yeah.
To be in their class. And that is a real thing. I mean, they sometimes gorge themselves on food, and other times don't eat a thing.
If we're going there, there's nothing crazier to me than seeing an NFL lineman a year after they stop playing football. They look like they're half the size.
Well, some of them.
Who?
TJ Lang.
Okay.
I'm not calling him a big old boy, but he's still a big old boy.
Like exactly the same. Like he looks exactly
he's not the same.
Okay.
He's bigger.
Oh, really?
Dude, some of these dudes I wouldn't say he's bigger in terms of weight or muscle or anything like that, but you're right. Some of these guys become half the human. And some of these other guys, I mean, there's a number of offensive linemen that are on ESPN every single day that look exactly like they were playing, if not a little bit larger.
Well, because it's not just muscle. It's not all muscle when, for these linemen. They're just big boys. They got to stay big. They eat calories too. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, hey, I don't have to eat 5,000 calories and then burn off 10,000 anymore. Like I can just go back to being a normal person. And he's just
look at Joe Thomas.
Looks like a completely different person.
Right.
Joe Thomas now, in comparison to Joe Thomas playing, they stand next to each other. You maybe think they're brothers. You're like, I could see it. You guys related? No, we're actually the same person. No
Jake
way.
Endelsman, 36 years old, without a doubt, basketball, a sport that really makes you feel like you're getting older with how fast-paced it can be. Totally. Here's another one. I would go back. This is from the 920. I'd go back and play football for Bemidji State. I was 21 years old when I turned down a partial scholarship. Now I'm 55 with a fake knee. No way I could play again. Does anybody else have the fear of injury just from, I mean, apparently there is a very large statistic that says once you hit 40, something like a large number, I'm going to make up like 85%, never sprint again in their life. Like, when's the last time you sprinted, Josh?
Oh, boy. No, I don't think it was like far enough to get to a sprint, but I feel like I do very short sprints every day trying to make sure like the baby doesn't fall when he's trying to get down from something.
Keeping humans alive.
But like that's just like a 20-footer. You know what I mean? Like never more than that. You know what? This is a good time to when people play the football game with the, what do you call it? The Thanksgiving football game with your friends.
The Turkey Bowl.
The Turkey Bowl. No, I don't do that
no.
because I will get hurt. And I know a bunch of people that are like, well, yeah, I had to have ankle surgery because of, the Turkey Bowl last year before. I'm like, you can't do that anymore. You're not 19. You can't just be competitive. In your head, you might be. And so then you're going to do something real stupid and you're going to pay for it.
And your wife's going to be pissed.
And your wife's going to be so pissed.
I would definitely go back to wrestling, still have dreams about being overweight before the weigh-in. Again, that's from the 920. That's crazy. They have the weigh-in. Still have dreams about that. Like you gotta cut the weight. Look at this. Nick in Greenfield before we get to a break and answer more of your questions, plus the most electrifying sound of the day. Nick in Greenfield says, my 8-year-old son in the car last night asked for the two guys who talk about sports. That's you two.
That's us.
You got a new fan.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. All right, when we come back, the most electrifying sound of the day, plus we'll get to more of your questions and more of your sports. If you could go back and play a sport in your prime, what age are you and what sport is it? And would you give it a shot at the age you're at now? Phillip Rivers apparently plays pretty good ball still.
Hey, he's been watching. He's been watching every game.
Oh, I watch all the games. When he walked into the press conference, it was like, wow, no Zoom. I'm like, okay.
I know. It was wild.
In a minute. All right, we're inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh, and we're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Good morning, Wisconsin. What's up, Wisconsin, and good morning to all of you in Wausau joining us on 93.9 The Game. What's up, Duluth Superior, 710 The Game. Milwaukee, 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. And here in Green Bay at 99.7 WNFL. That makes up the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Make sure to follow us online at WI Sports Radio. All right, time for the most electrifying sound of the day.
It's time for
The most electrifying
sound of the day.
The most electrifying
On Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
That deer dove comes back to Milwaukee once again, and it feels good. 116 to 101, the final.
And that surprising and electrifying final call of the Bucks beating the Celtics is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. I'm still a little bit in shock that the Bucks not only won, but they won in that fashion. I mean, it's crazy.
15.
Yeah.
116-101. The most electrifying part of that's the final score.
You're right. Right. I mean, the fact that so many players played great. I mean, Kuzma and Bobby off the bench, as you mentioned to start the show. I think something was also a little. There was someone else there cheering him on. He wasn't in his uniform, but Giannis, right there.
Oh,
yeah, it was.
Was he wearing a Broncos jersey by chance?
He was not.
Good.
No,
because that seems to be the way that if you don't like Wisconsin anymore, just go ahead and wear all of our rival jerseys on the bench. Tyrese Halliburton.
Correct.
Stupid.
No, Giannis there in attendance, supporting the team, and they come away with a big dub.
Did he talk?
Not that I saw, but he was very excited with the win, cheering on his guys, cheering on his brother. I mean, we had some TA time last night. Thanasis got in it with 2 minutes left.
Nice.
Against the Celtics that were almost 9-point favorites. It's just a wild game.
If we can pick up audio on an NFL field, why can't we pick up what Giannis is talking about on the bench? Somebody put a boom mic in his face.
Yeah, someone mic him up.
Oh, my God, you imagine?
Can you, no.
Imagine being that person on the Bucks media team. Hey, Giannis?
Yeah.
You okay with getting mic'd up today?
No.
Okay, just want to ask.
Sounds good. Sure. No worries at all. Thanks. Scurries away.
We're finishing up. I have questions. If you could go back and play a sport in your prime, how old are you? What sport is it? And would you try to play it today if given the opportunity in the current state of affairs in your life? And listen, people that listen to this show, Sports Talk Radio, men and women alike, are in all different phases of their life.
Yep.
Different ages, different physiques. Just curious, would you start and try to play again? The 920 says, I'm 46. I still play softball, but it is true I would never go all out anymore. Haven't pushed it in over 5 years. I would go back to college and play football.
If you could.
That's an interesting take. I don't have that ability. I do not have the ability to go what I would call half-assed. I don't.
Sure.
It's not that I don't have the physical ability. It's the mental ability. It reminds, hey, let me compare myself to John Cena real quick.
Okay.
Total body doubles.
Yeah,
body
absolutely
doubles.
The same person.
I can't play softball anymore, not because I can't play the sport, but because I can't go full tilt. It's not, by the way, that I can't go full tilt because I'm fully capable of still going full tilt.
Well,
but I cannot get injured the way I did. I can't.
So it's just being cautious.
But I can't play cautious. I don't have the ability to go onto a sporting field and play cautiously. I'm either all in or I'm all out. And I tried to play last year, half in, and it didn't work.
I feel like this is why people, though, go away from basketball. And that's why like bowling and golf are so popular. Because they're sports that are less injury prone. They're not contact sports. And they allow you to, still focus and do what you want to do or half-ass it if you want. But I can't see I don't know, man. I feel like if you really wanted to, like you can change the game. You can change the way that you approach the game to still be able to play it. There's a difference between being able to flip that switch and still having a love for the game. I feel like there's part of it is you're going, yeah, I don't love it that much.
Oh, no, I love it. I absolutely love beer league softball. Not as much since we started doing a morning show together, Josh, because 4 a.m. comes quick, and Thursday night was my boys' night.
Sure.
Not anymore. There's no such thing as a boys' night during the week anymore.
Yeah.
I cut up a deer on Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday, had 3 or 4 beers, slept like crap, felt like crap the next day. I'm like, oh, cool. 42 is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get that part, but man, I don't know. I still feel like as we get older, we still need those beer league softballs and those bowling nights and golf outings with the boys. Like, you need to be able to do that stuff. You can't just completely go into hibernation.
My buddy Booby saw me. You don't have a friend named Booby?
Nope.
You don't have nicknames in your life?
I do.
We're going to talk about that later in this show. What are some of the best nicknames that are in Wisconsin sports, both past and present? If you think of a nickname in Wisconsin sports, what is it? So that's the crazy part about the nickname conversation. We all have nicknames on our softball team. I'll go through a bunch of them this morning, but one of them is Booby. And Booby saw me. His last name is Boobolts.
Okay.
That's where it comes from.
Sure.
So when I just say the word booby, I think it sounds dirty. That's not the case. It's Boobolts. I digress. He watched me blow my Achilles, and he, just like you just described, said, you know what? I think I'm going to golf on Thursdays. And then I'll just show up at the softball diamond and cheer you guys on and wish you well. But that really affected my life. And there was a couple of guys that kind of got the yips. I left. When I blew my Achilles, I left. And apparently the guys playing thereafter kind of, it was like, oh, well, maybe this isn't as important as we thought it was.
Yeah.
Well,
I
also,
sorry, I was going to say there's a lot of people still chiming in. I want to get to a few of these quick because maybe I'm wrong. I'm seeing more of this. Philip on YouTube comments. You can, of course, watch us as well as listen to us. You can watch us on the YouTube stream at WI Sports Radio. He says, I'm 48. I've ripped my calf muscle playing softball when I was 41. Took almost a year to fully heal. I haven't sprinted since.
Mm-hmm.
I would be scared to even try to play now. Andy in Brookfield on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line says, Andy, he says, I know better than to try to play sports all out anymore. I slipped and fell playing a fun game of kickball, and it took a month before my back felt right again.
Yeah.
Woof. That's what I'm saying. That's not even like a fun game of kickball.
I can barely spend a half hour in the garden at this point before my back's like, what are we doing?
Oh, this one for the 262.
Yeah.
Is hacky sack a sport? I used to love playing. Now, oldness plus glass ankles equals death.
Death.
Oh.
How'd you blow out your ankle? I was playing hacky sack.
Oh, it was a good round, though.
Man.
You should have seen it.
I would like to try that.
Oh,
again.
you've never hacked a sack?
Oh, I have hacked a sack, just not in many a year.
Yeah, it's been a minute for me. When I was down at Warped Tour, there was a hacky sack circle, and I was like, oh, I should get in that. And then I was like, no.
Why?
I chickened out. I was like, I don't know. But I literally, by myself, tried making the motion. Yeah. Like, can I get my leg to where I need to get it? Do I have that range of motion anymore?
I can still do it.
Can you?
I haven't broken anything yet. I'm trying right now.
We're so old.
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
Oh, my God.
All right, when we come back, the morning mind dump. Is the NFL starting to care more about money than the product, or is that just bias showing? Because this Micah Parsons stuff is all the rage, but there's no fix for it. There's audio from Mike Florio and Chris Sims from Pro Football Talk, PFT on NBC, and they talked ad nauseum about this, but still no have answers. But there is a little bit of a conspiracy theory that's coming out now, and I'm wondering if it makes any sense. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Good morning, Wisconsin. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Amon Green and Nick Lucia in the backfield, and this is Green. Look at Green, all by himself. Touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
That touchdown run by Amon Green for 98 yards is still to this day the longest touchdown run in Packers history. The 98-yard touchdown run. And we talked to start the show, what really made that game memorable was the huge roar in the stadium when out-of-town help arrived. The Cardinals shocked the Vikings on a last-second touchdown. Earlier, we played Josh Allen's call from the Vikings on that because him too. Allen, Mr. Allen. Josh, tell I don't pay attention to the Vikings. I know it was Paul Allen. I just misspoke. Moving on.
Josh Allen, he's busy in Buffalo.
Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, Josh,
Albrecht. Hi.
What's your nickname?
Well, we'll get there.
Okay. You're gonna let one out of the bag?
Nope.
Okay. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh. We're just gonna call him Josh.
That's right.
Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. We're live from there. They are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It is time for today's morning mind dump.
I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We've got no food, we've got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
It's time for the morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law fan talk and text line, 414-677-1250. If there's something you got to get off your chest today, it's a Friday. Don't carry it into the weekend. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? What are your concerns? Get it out of your head. Leave it at the door or leave it with us on the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line, 414-677-1250. Josh, this whole Micah Parsons holding thing won't go away.
No, and it shouldn't go away. But this argument from Mr. Florio here from Pro Football Talk, which I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge Florio fan.
Yeah.
But this argument he makes not only makes sense, it makes me angry in regards to Micah Parsons being held and just holding calls in general. Here's what he had to say.
Chicago's first taste of Micah Parsons as a member of the Green Bay franchise. And, one of the realities, and I want to make the broader observation here. Holding happens all the time and it's not called.
Right.
It really is disgusting how often it happens. Like, it's almost to the point where they look the other way on the arm across the neck and the grabber. Like, well, did it really affect? Then the quarterbacks wouldn't be able to throw the ball all over the place. They want the passing games. They want touchdowns. They want points. They want people to put the action down on the overs. So, yeah, they're going to look the other. I know it's more egregious with Michael Parsons, Chris, but the broader issue here is holding happens all the time. And when it's called, it's like, well, why was that play any different than the 10 where you didn't call it?
Yeah.
So I think he makes some valid points, which, again, I'm not happy to say, but he does. And it frustrates me because I've lived this with baseball. And I think we've seen this with basketball too, of the game itself, the leagues that run the game, changing the rules by not calling the rules. When was the last time you could definitively say this? They're going to call a travel. They're going to, you have no idea anymore. They pick and choose in the NBA what to call all the time. In baseball, what's a strike? It's back and forth, same thing. And then you see how they're changing the game. Now we're going to make a pitch clock. Now we're going to do all these other things not because there's a problem per se with the game itself, but because they want to make money and they're worried about viewership. And all of these things that they're adding in change the game. Now, I feel like for a long time, football was the one that was holding out. Like football was football. The only thing we really have had is replay, right? Replay has kind of been the only thing that's been a huge back and forth of how much are we taking into account of this. Now they have like the where you don't have to challenge it. It's unassisted. I don't know, whatever you call that, where like the booth will just decide, yep, we saw that, we're changing that call.
Replay assist.
Thank you. And so all of those things, I'm like, okay, that's, you're adding, you're tweaking little things, but the core of the game stays the same. The holding calls. What's a hold? We've been saying for years. Well, you could call a hold on every play. A ton of analysts and people that just love watching football have said that. Listen, you could call a holding play on a holding call on every play. But not saying that you should, but you have to have a better system than this, unless Mike Florio is correct in that they're purposefully not doing this because they know people are going to gamble more money on the over, which allows them to build the brand, make more money for the Shield, and make it less about the integrity of the game. And I feel like that's been happening across professional sports over the last 10 years. And it pisses me off because what else do we have? We are here to talk about sports. We as a society love watching sports. If that is the next thing to change and fall because they need to make more money, it sucks. And it's just so disappointing. And I'm hoping that that's not the truth. And the truth is just they don't know how. Not that there's a reason behind them not doing it and making these calls.
So Mike Florio and Chris Sims, that Pro Football Talk clip is just over 9 minutes long, and they actually go into detail in the clip about what holding used to be and what it is today. You may remember, amongst all of the changes in the NFL, one thing that stayed true was that you had to keep your hands inside if you were blocking. And they talk about that extensively and how you couldn't even have your hands on the outside of the shoulder pads or on the shoulders themselves without getting a holding call. And they taught you when you were young and you were playing football for the first time, here's how you block, keep your hands inside and either grab, just don't get busted for it because you're close. And that's where they literally taught you how to hold, or get leverage, get low, push up on the shoulder pads. Where it came from that they talked about to where it is now, where you can not only have your hands outside, but apparently choke
around a guy's neck.
Literally.
Yeah.
Or bear hugging him when you're 340 pounds as an offensive lineman. So that whole scheme has changed in terms of how you block on the offensive side. And I haven't seen, other than some of the cross patterns and the switches that they make on defense, how a defender is supposed to get through that. Reggie White had figured it out, where if the block was inside and they leaned one way, he could swim, and that's why it made them look like they were getting chucked.
Right.
Reggie White looked like he was chucking dudes. Well, really, it was just pure science.
Yeah,
they were leaning that way already, and over they go. But even then, they knew, the offensive lineman blocking Reggie White knew that if they had their hands outside whatsoever and didn't keep their hands in the middle of Reggie's chest, they were going to get called for a hold. And so that's why those rip moves or the swim moves, that's why all of that worked so much better back in the day. But when Micah Parsons rips through an offensive lineman and the offensive lineman's hand is literally around his neck or his arm is around his chest, last I checked, that's not how it's supposed to go.
Right. And the reason why the ones on Micah Parsons are more egregious is because Micah Parsons is so good that he's still getting through even as someone is choking him. And that is more evident, right, than some minor holding calls. That's why the whole argument of, well, you could call a hold on every play. Yeah, but not like that. Not when it's highlighted and there's a spotlight and it's the guy is still getting to the quarterback as someone is choking him and essentially dragging an offensive lineman with him. How do you have to call that? You have to call that. And that's why I hate what Florio's saying, because I think there might be some validity to it. of just, I don't know how all the small things that the officials can see throughout a game, and then they show us on the replay and I go, oh yeah, there it was. You could see that in real time, but you couldn't see a guy being held 4 feet from the quarterback. If I'm seeing in real time, you absolutely are. So then my brain goes to ulterior motives. And why not have one of them be, yeah, but then the scores are going to be lower. Penalties aren't exciting. Fans get annoyed when there's constant flag throwing. So just don't call them and let the game be the highlight reel that's going to sell ads and sponsorships.
Florio talks about how it's bad business for the NFL from the fans' perspective. And the hope is that it's not good business from the NFL from the NFL's perspective. The biggest worry with how the NFL is not only not calling holding calls on somebody like Micah Parsons, but Chris Sims does a great job of explaining that this is going to come up in the playoffs. This is, for all intents and purposes in comparison, the worst year of NFL officiating in the NFL in quite some time. And they're fearful that beyond whatever this holding is or isn't, and we heard from Matt LaFleur after the game last week going, I don't even know what holding is anymore.
Couldn't even tell you. I thought I knew. I don't know. Yep.
This is going to stick around. We hope it doesn't rear its head in the playoffs, but you got to believe. Now, Josh, what are your thoughts on how reactionary will the NFL be this week? So the Broncos 11-2, the Packers 9-3-1, a huge game in terms of NFL playoff and seeding. And are the Broncos for real? Can the Packers make a statement win? Like, who's going to show up where, how, why? What's it look like? Will the officiating make a big pendulum swing? And now all of a sudden they're going to have all holding calls, because that's what Florio says in that clip too. He's like, you know what? If they're not going to hold it or call the holding, if they're not going to call it, throw the flag, then why don't we just hold on every play? It'll bog the game down. They're going to be forced to call it. So as if it's not blatant enough, if I was a team playing against Micah Parsons, I would hold him every single time.
Correct.
Because they can't call it every single time.
Right. They won't call it, and maybe you get caught once or twice, but over the 10, 15 times, that's totally worth it. And I'm hoping that Micah Parsons gets at least a few calls, at least one or two. I mean, the fact that he didn't get a single call against the Bears was atrocious, right? And that's why even the game ops guy was getting involved and showing the clips of it like, are you guys just not seeing this? Here, to everyone, all 85,000 of you, here's what apparently the refs are missing. But I'm hoping that there's at least one or two that are called. I don't think it's going to be an overcorrection, though. I don't think we're going to start seeing it on every call. And I do think if they miss all of them again, it'll get worse. There will be more something said. We got John on the YouTube stream commenting, saying, this has been happening for years, guys, with the holds. The Packers held him too when he played for Dallas. Yeah, right. That's what I was saying. We are just experiencing this with Micah Parsons now. Micah Parsons has been experiencing this the majority of his career. But the reason why the Packers held him when he played for Dallas, same reason of why you, Trevor, just said would be surprised if the Broncos didn't plan on doing that on Sunday. Because if they're not going to call him anyway because they don't know how, or the league is telling them, nah, don't call every holding call, then it makes sense for the offensive side of the ball to take their chance.
The 920 says on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. He says, if the offense was facing a 2nd and 30 because they keep holding, they'll stop holding. That's the point.
Correct.
No offense currently is facing a 2nd 30 because they keep holding, because they're not calling it. And that's what Florio was getting at about all of that. Josh, you were talking about how much the game has changed in terms of specifically about these holding calls and lack thereof per se. And you were comparing it to the baseball and basketball. The only real changes the NFL has made have been about player safety, right? The kickoff rule and the landing zone and all that jazz. Well, that's because dudes were getting completely lit up on kick returns and then playing with concussions, which was bad for NFL business back then as well. The same thing is true on a defenseless receiver, or why you can't jack up a quarterback. One of the ones, though, that did change things, and we see it in the NFL today in terms of rule changes, is the extra point. That had nothing to do with player safety.
Yeah, that's a good point. And why do you think they changed that?
Do you think it was about money?
Well, was the extra point not almost always assumed?
Mm-hmm.
And they went, oh, this is too easy.
Mm-hmm. But what would that matter?
Right. Unless we move it back, and now maybe more teams will go for 2. That's way more exciting than them just getting a free extra point.
Think about your bias. Think about your fear. Look at it from the betting side. Look at it from the overall
correct
side.
It's not assumed. They got to earn it.
I hate looking into conspiracy theories like that. They make me angry because they make sense.
And that's the hardest thing as I've grown and being a lover of watching professional sports to accept is that professional sports are a business. It's a passion that we pay for emotionally, sometimes financially, but it is a business. And they will change it however they feel to make more money.
The officiating team for the Packers games are notorious for calling more penalties on the visiting team, says the 413. The 262 comes in and says if they just call the first couple holds early, that changes how the O-line blocks the rest of the game. That's what I wonder is going to happen. Are they going to overcorrect?
I don't think so. I would be very, very surprised because then it makes it even more evident against what they've been doing for too long. Oh, so you guys do know how to do this. Why the hell haven't you been doing it before?
Well, and do officials call pass interference or defensive holding tighter on third downs, according to the 920? So that's the problem with the officiating in the NFL this year. We're very close to it because Micah Parsons is front and center on a national stage for not getting these calls. But if you back out of it for a second or 30,000-foot view, this whole thing seems a little jacked up this year with NFL officiating. And I'm not sure if it's because they want the game to keep moving or if they're just, quote, letting them play. Remember that was all the time in basketball? They're letting them
Oh, just let them play. Yeah, you just got to let them play.
Well, I don't want them to play. I just want them to not hold.
Well, but the thing is, and that's my point. It's a fine line. It's a fine line because think about how many times we complain about a ticky-tack pass interference call that can completely change the game. Pass interference is, oh, come on, he barely touched him, and now it's a 45-yard play because it was on a bomb. So it's a fine line between calling everything and calling nothing. And that's why I'm not even saying that I think that Micah Parsons or linemen in general should get every single holding call. But when they're that egregious, I don't know how you ignore it. I mean, you're straight up ignoring it at that point.
One more piece from the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line before we take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to get to a lot more of your text messages. So keep coming them in. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line 414-677-1250. Josh, this is it right here. The 262 says Coach LaFleur doesn't need to know what holding is. He understands how to play football.
He sure does.
Offensively, you're doing whatever you can do to try to score points. Defensively, you're doing whatever you can do to try to stop the opponent from scoring points.
I mean, well said.
If it takes holding, well, then so be it, because that's what the defense needs to do in order for the offense to stop scoring points. That was so funny yesterday. In case you missed it, that came out of the presser a couple days ago where Matt LaFleur very, very simply answered a question that was asked of him going, do you try to hold on to the ball longer? And do you manage the clock that way? Did you mean to run time off the clock? And that was his answer. All right, got it, Coach. At least we have that nailed down.
Yeah, might not understand what a hold is, but I understand how football works.
Offense, defense. Funny how he didn't mention kickers.
Yeah, right.
That's because he doesn't talk to kickers.
Or celebrate Halloween.
Yeah, that was bad. All right, Packers Broncos preview. In case you missed it, we're going to replay back for you some of the pieces from yesterday. There's some concern about Josh Jacobs. We'll get to that, plus more of your morning mind dumps on a Friday morning here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at OnAirJosh, at Trevor Thomas IW, at Inside Wis Sports, at WI Sports Radio. Did you get all that?
Yep, I got it.
No, doubtful.
I got it.
Jump on the Twitter and search for us. We love interacting with you there, as well as the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. So Josh Jacobs may or may not play this weekend. They're playing this one super cautiously and super close to the vest. If you ask Matt LaFleur, he says when a player doesn't practice, it's always a concern. But then you go and ask Josh Jacobs, and he says that he's planning to play, Josh.
Same thing I've been battling with the last couple of weeks. So we'll see how it goes. I definitely didn't get hit on it last game. I did get hit on it in Detroit. But I think it's one of those things where just running or standing too long, it kind of just swelling and things like that. It gets a little stiff on me. But besides that, yeah, that's. I mean, they got to kind of tell me I can't play for me not to play. So I mean, for me, that's where my head is at. But I'm also realistically just day to day right now.
So same injury that he got against the Giants back in mid-November. His knee is swelling. There seems to be some fluid in it.
It's not good.
Doc says, just chill.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Doc was like, man, just chill. But also, it's just me being smart too, because I don't want to – technically I can go out there and practice, but I don't want to go out there and then make it even more swollen, and then game days it's harder to, actually play. So it's just being smart right now.
So, Josh, we talked earlier, I mean, within the first 8 minutes of the show, the better part of an hour and a half ago now, that I'm okay if Josh Jacobs doesn't play, and you're like,
No, I'm not okay with that.
Why aren't you okay with that? If we just want to rest him, play it safe, chill, in Josh Jacobs' words, and go with Emmanuel Wilson.
I'm fine with Josh Jacobs not practicing, but I need him on the field against Denver.
Why?
Because this is going to be a very difficult game, and I do not want to go into Chicago on a loss, especially if Chicago beats Cleveland. And then we're right in the same spot we were last week with the importance of this game. That game in Chicago, while still important, is, in my mind, a much easier game to prepare for and worry about if the Packers are going into it with a win.
Somebody on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line just said that if Josh Jacobs doesn't play, cue the Jaden Reed jet sweep. We're going to see a lot of that potentially. So, Josh, what I hear you saying is, and maybe you're going to talk about this at 8 o'clock when we kind of preview the do's and don'ts for the Packers against the Broncos and our thoughts on where the game ends. Are you saying that Josh Jacobs playing or not playing will be the difference in the game?
I think that if he plays, he won't be the difference. If he doesn't play, that will be the difference. I know.
How do you get both?
I know. I get both. Because I think that you still have to prepare for Josh Jacobs, and that opens up more passing opportunities. Nothing against Emmanuel Wilson. I don't think that we've talked about, especially against a better defense, how important it is, if we're going to be aggressive, to be able, you have to be able to scare the defense saying, well, then we'll just run the ball. If the Broncos can plan on the Packers never establishing a run, it's going to be a lot harder for the Packers to air it out. So I'm not saying that Jacobs even has to be in the whole game, play the entire time, but I need him on some of those clutch runs, especially those 3rd and 1s that for some reason this Packers team just loves to get. God forbid you get a first down on 2nd.
No, we're going to throw it 22 yards.
Yeah. 3rd and 1. Oh my God, drive me nuts. But so I want Jacobs to be there. This is not a game that's a rest week. I'm sorry. And if you play now and you play well and you come away with a win and then you beat Chicago, then you might be able to sit him for the rest of the regular season and not have him play against Baltimore or the Vikings and then just get ready for the playoffs. Win now.
Your point earlier about unsure if Emmanuel Wilson was able to punch that one in the end zone against the Bears like Josh Jacobs did is spot on. Josh Jacobs sat out an entire game this year, yes?
Yeah.
Went out against the Giants, yes?
Yeah.
Through 12 games, Where do you think he ranks in the NFL in terms of rushing yards?
Oh,
just guess.
I'm 6th.
15th.
Okay.
Total rushing yards? Average.
Yeah.
Where do you think he ranks in rushing attempts?
6th.
Ooh, close. 8th.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going somewhere with this. We're on our
Okay.
way up.
Yep.
Remember, he sat out a game and he got injured in a game, and he has not been 100%.
Yeah.
Where in the NFL does Josh Jacobs rank in rushing touchdowns?
5th.
3rd.
Ah, okay.
3rd.
Yeah.
So for as many attempts per yards, per carries, all those things, decent, good, better than average on the attempt side, pretty average, middle of the pack on the rushing yard side. But when it comes to punching the ball into the end zone, Josh Jacobs is 3rd in the NFL through 12 games, and he didn't play a game. And he got injured in a different game, and he hasn't been 100% since that game. I wondered why Emmanuel Wilson played a little bit more in that last game. Now it's starting to make sense. Did you notice that too?
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not against having Wilson in. You know, Wilson in once in a while, I feel like is good. It keeps the defense on their toes. Wilson's a different runner than Josh Jacobs, and so I think it creates different opportunities to scheme a little differently. But you can't have it be all Wilson. You still have to have Jacobs being the guy, especially on those short yardage plays that finds that hole, finds that gap, and gets you the one or two you need, whether it be for a first down or to get in the end zone.
Is it worth the risk? I know how much we need to win this game and go into Chicago next week, but look at us worrying about Chicago next week. And maybe that's part of the question. And Nicolay Law, Fan Talk and Text Line, we're curious to know where you stand on this. What would you do? Josh Jacobs is banged up. He had another scan on Monday. Luckily, it didn't show anything. But his first injury, that initial bone bruise, the knee contusion on his left knee, that came out of hitting the concrete at MetLife Stadium that is their so-called turf, has stuck with him. He's battling, and his knee has fluid, and it's sore. And when he stands, it gets, I mean, it's a joint, right? Have you ever had a real bone bruise, Josh? No. Not cool. Not cool at all. It barely even shows up on your skin. It just hangs in there, and then it rears its head. It's brutal. I'm just wondering, where do we stand? Can we do this thing this weekend without Josh Jacobs? Should we attempt to do this without Josh Jacobs? Is it worth protecting him?
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have Jacobs play against the Broncos or the Bears?
Bears.
Which game do you think you need him more in?
Bears.
You think the Packers can beat the Broncos? They have a better shot at beating the Broncos without Josh Jacobs, than beating the Bears without Josh Jacobs.
I do.
So you think the Bears are a better team than the Broncos?
No. I'm saying it's more important. That was
I'm
your
not
question.
saying important. I'm saying
go back to your original question.
Okay. Well, let me rephrase my original question.
Okay, now we're changing the game.
Which game do you think is more likely the Packers can win without Josh Jacobs?
Broncos. This is going to be a pass game this weekend.
Okay.
They're going to attempt to establish a run, and they're going to air the ball out. And it's going to be a
You need to have time to air the ball out against a team that's putting up 55 sacks.
Just about to say that. It's going to be a 3-step drop, get it out of Jordan Love's hands. You're going to see a lot of slants, a lot of middle crossover slants. And every once in a while, they're going to get some extra time and maybe see if they can make the long throw, the aggressive throw that they made this past weekend. NFC North football in December in Chicago is down and dirty. The black and blue division. That's what these games are. That game against the Bears will be a run-heavy game. That's when we need Josh Jacobs the most versus sunny and 60 in Denver this weekend, a mile above sea level. That screams pass game to me against a team that definitely has good pass rushing. However, you could argue that the offensive line has never been better for the Packers. So that's what Matt LaFleur was saying earlier in the week, that it's going to be a really, really good test. The 414 says, I will preface that I love Josh Jacobs, but it always seems like Emmanuel Wilson runs better than him because he goes north and south.
Well, yeah, but that's also look at your data. How much data do you have on Emmanuel Wilson? How many games this season has Emmanuel Wilson been the guy teams are planning and prepping for Emmanuel Wilson because Josh Jacobs isn't available. And on top of that, they're different runners. It's like I said, it's a lot easier to scheme something for Emmanuel Wilson when you're only using him 2 or 3 times a game.
What do you think, Josh? If you're going to pick Josh Jacobs to be in a game, it just feels risky, but where do you want him? Do you want him in this game and then more banged up going into Chicago, or do you want us to use him less this game in going into Chicago healthier than he is now?
I want him this game.
Versus Chicago.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Especially because, well, for one, like I said to start the show, I think it's very important that they win this game and go into Chicago with that win. I don't want it to be to where these teams are tied again, playing each other in Chicago. I don't like that, and now we're doing it in their home. On top of that, I don't know, something in me is maybe still believing in the idea of it's how difficult it is to beat a team 3 times. And so I think that if we split with the Bears, but it doesn't matter because we beat everyone else and the Bears happen to be that loss, then the Packers are still coming away with the 2 seed. And so
what I hear you saying is you're willing to give up the 1 seed.
I don't think I think after figuring out with the Seattle having just as much of odds to take the 1 as the Rams, I think the Packers getting the 1 is going to be very difficult. And so I'm
do
not,
you play
I'm not
that
looking
way,
at
though?
that.
Do you play that way? Do you play for the 2?
No, you play to win every game. That's why I think Josh Jacobs plays against the Broncos and hopefully plays against the Bears. If you sit him out against the Broncos, you know he's not playing in both those games. So I'd rather have him go against the Broncos, win against the Broncos, and then keep those different options of where the Packers finish and what those remaining 3 games at that point mean, rather than sit him and hope that 7 days off magically makes his knee all better, which, keep in mind, it might not. You might sit him, and then it still might be to where he has fluid building up and all these same problems. This isn't an injury that he got last week against Chicago.
True.
So there's no guarantee that he's magically even better. And then he still might only see half the time against Chicago anyway. Play him against the Broncos. I need Josh Jacobs in there.
When we come back, what nicknames are your favorite in Wisconsin sports? Over the years, past, present, what nicknames stick out to you? And do you have a nickname in a story? If you got one, call us. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. If you have a good nickname and there's a story behind it, let's talk about it. And what nicknames in Wisconsin sports are your favorite? It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor and Josh live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, full of calls and texts. 414-677-1250. If you're on the road, give us a buzz. What is a good story about a nickname that you have or one of your buddies have? Or, and what really drives the conversation, what are some of the best nicknames in Wisconsin sports?
Yeah.
Josh, you got a nickname that you've ran with for some time, and there's a story. What is it?
So first, it ties into the reason why I love it is because my favorite nickname in Wisconsin sports was Reggie. The Minister of Defense has to be up there with the coolest nicknames ever, like period, across all nicknames, the history of nicknames. And in a past life, on a former radio show, because I was sometimes more an emotional analyst of sporting events.
No.
I know. Who, me?
What?
I was nicknamed the Minister of Fandom. And that stuck with me. And I have people that would like tweet at me and say like, okay, I need to hear from the Minister of Fandom because I don't know if my emotions are in check on this game or if I'm being like you and I'm too emotionally invested and all these other things. So I always appreciated that nickname of being and not only an homage to Reggie, but a little bit true to who I am of, might not be breaking down the X's and O's, but as a fan, I'm going to let you know emotionally exactly where I'm at.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line on fire. By the way, that makes sense because you're the don't tell me how to fan guy.
That's right. Don't tell me how to fan.
So if you're the Minister of Fandom, it's you just trying to manage everybody's reactions and don't tell you how to fan. But boy, when you have a sermon, my man.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. Let's go to church.
The pulpit we go. All right, let's look at a few of these on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line before we get to a call. Obviously, there we go, right? The Minister of Defense.
Yeah.
The Grave Digger is a good one.
Yep.
Hashtag Fat Dario came back up right now. Jeez. Well, look at this one from Daryl. They used to call me Sterile Daryl, but now I have 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
Congrats.
I think that's good.
What? Bob Lanier was the big dauber.
I think about Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. That's not a good one.
Doc in Two Rivers is on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. What are the nicknames that are your favorite, Doc? Thinking that Doc's a nickname, actually.
It is, and we'll get into that one in a second or a minute. Josh grabbed the first one that I had. I think that's the best. Minister of Defense for Reggie White. I mean, that just screams awesome. And then I like this. Like, Packers are my team, but I kind of like it. Picked an AFC team, and the Steelers were kind of it. Mean Joe Green. And then you had the Iron Curtain, right? So you just had like 2 of them built in, one for the team and then one for the player.
Yeah, true.
So as far as how Doc came about, my friends call me Doc. My name's Damien. I was born in the early, I'll just say it, 73. The movie Damien the Omen came out in like 76 or something like that. And I literally had teachers feeling the back of my head to see if I had 6s. So I kind of hated my name. But to put it all together, I was born without, my parents didn't give me a middle name. So the movie Damien the Omen, and my last name, the first initial is C. So Damien Omen.
And there you go.
Conley.
That's how you got Doc.
Awesome.
I love that that's your nickname, and it wasn't even like nothing to do with being a doctor of anything.
It's nothing at all of anything that I do. And then you get everybody with the "What's up, Doc" all the time, which kind of gets old after a while. But before you guys let me go, man, I do got one question for you. I have a feeling I'm going to try to be a regular either on the morning show or the night show. I got switched over to third shift recently, so I'm coming in listening to you guys and the 9 to noon people. I'm not familiar with the call-in procedure. Like, is there a rule or an etiquette so like I don't annoy you guys? Like, just let it ring until you answer, or
we'll tell you if you're annoying or not. We promise.
You'll know. There'll be signs.
No procedure.
So
you're good for now, Doc.
All right, if you're not texting or calling me back, telling me anything, I should assume that everything's good then.
Everything's good. You're good, buddy.
That's
we
right.
appreciate you giving a buzz in, man. Have a great rest of your day. That's fun,
Thanks, Doc.
The old initials. So I have a nickname or two or three.
Two, three of them?
Three of them. Yeah, it depends on the season and how old I was. So right now, my nickname is T-Rex. My in-laws actually gave me that nickname back when I first started dating their daughter. And then it stuck in softball. And the reason that it's stuck in softball is because I run the bases like a baby dinosaur.
Okay.
The floor rumbles a little bit if I'm running.
I think it's more interesting that your in-laws gave you a nickname.
Oh, they just started calling me T-Rex right in the beginning. I don't know what maybe
very
my father-in-law's listening. Where did T-Rex come from? It was him. It was Khan. So that's one. I had a buddy text me the other day that was actually one of my old roommates when I was in my early 20s. And he asked me if I could sub in a dart league here in Northeast Wisconsin. And he texted me and said, "Hey, Potsy, can you sub for the dart league at Circle Tap on Thursday?" And I'm like, "Well, no, because my alarm goes off at 4 and I don't trust myself." And then I called him and I was like, "Carl, remind me, please, where did Potsy come from?" He's like, "Well, you always had a little bit of a pot belly." And I'm like,
"Wow.
Well, I still got the pot belly. That's up there." Yeah, Potsy. So T-Rex, Potsy. And then when it comes to deer hunting, I've always had this thing stick with me. Every year, I take out a nubby buck. I know. Don't do that. Let them grow. All those things. I don't do it on purpose all the time. This year I did. Buttons. Little nubby buck buttons.
Wow. You got too many nicknames.
I've got, well, T-Rex is the real one. I mean, that's the one that sticks.
What about Dawson?
Did Jason in the 920 text you that? That's some gun yesterday.
No way. Are you serious?
Texted. Yes. Okay. Are you freaking kidding me?
He didn't say anything.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
I just thought maybe as your favorite baseball player growing up being.
Oh, God. I'm going to hang up on you.
I just thought that maybe that was one of the nicknames you had. You know?
So my buddy Jason's getting a dog, and I was trying to help him rename the dog.
Yeah.
It's a 3-year-old dog. Its name is Creek. And so I was sending a bunch of different names to him, and I was like, "Hey, what about this? What about that?" Because it's all about phonetics for dogs. The name doesn't matter. And I said, "You want me to ask Wisconsin what the dog's name should be? I'll ask Wisconsin." He goes, "Hey, listen, I'm all about content for you guys. Do you want me to call the dog Dawson?"
Oh,
like,
my God. You got to be kidding me.
No, that happened. So thanks for bringing it up. Go back to the phones. I'm over this.
Jason on the same page. Oh, my gosh. All right. Hey, this is Adam in Germantown. Adam,
what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's the nickname you got?
I mean, the first one that jumps out to in my mind, I mean, I'm a huge Packers fan, lifelong Packers fan, but Frankie Bag of Donuts for Frank Winter.
Yeah, that's a good
always
one.
the one that sticks out. Yeah. You know, for a lineman, I mean, that's like a perfect nickname. For me personally, I'm in my mid 40s, but I did play basketball in high school, but I'm only 5'6". So back in high school, when I played basketball, my friends used to call me Knuckles. And the story behind that nickname is that they said I was so short that when I tried to crossover dribble, my knuckles would scrape the floor.
I love that.
That's great.
That's great, Knuckles.
So,
All right, man.
That's awesome. Thanks for the
buzz.
call.
Everybody on my softball team, Josh, has a nickname. And it's been something that this team's been doing since they started in 1984. Pork Chop just texted me. Okay, that's his nickname. We've got a Booby. We've got a Pork Chop. We've got a Runt. We have a T-Rex, Cookie. There's more. I mean, I'm blanking on some of them right now. But Pork Chop just texted and said, "Hey, don't forget, John Buchagros gave you a nickname. Bucci, ESPN. He calls me Leaf Eater because I'm 6'8". I'm like a giraffe.
Oh, okay.
And literally to this day, if I was to text him or we golf together, Leaf Eater, your ball's over. Hey, Leaf Eater. Literally call me Leaf Eater.
Wow.
Is that a nickname though? Because that didn't stick. I mean, like he calls it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like a nickname's got to be more than one person.
Does Julie have a nickname for you?
Yeah, annoying.
All right, there's that. Keep them coming. This is great. What nicknames? Annoying. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Annoying on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studio. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Amon Green and Nick Lucci in the backfield, and this is Green. Look at Green, all by himself. Touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
Amon Green, circa 2003, December 28th, Packers 31, Broncos 3. Is that a preview of this weekend's game?
No.
Depends who you ask. We shall see. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It is time to preview all things Packers Broncos and get Josh and I's prediction on what's going to happen. Plus, we'll chat with Andy Herman right around 8:15, 8:20, somewhere in there. So stick with us. He's got his preview as well. We'll hold him accountable to a score. Ish. He's going to give us a score. That's one thing that I don't think we do is we don't really circle back on how we did on the scores. Because last I checked, I think I said Packers 40, Bears 10.
Yeah, you did.
Whoops.
I believe I brought that up when we were talking about it.
I wasn't listening.
I don't think you were. You saw a shiny object or something. But it was it didn't matter because they won.
Right.
I think we focus on it a lot more if they lost.
I preview with my heart. I give you a score with my heart. And unfortunately, if I'm sports betting at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, I bet with my heart. It's good news for them.
Yeah.
Bad news for me.
They rely on a lot of betting with their heart.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, so the time is now. The stage is set. We are just a mere 2 days away from Packers Broncos 325 CBS. So how are we feeling? Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. 414-677-1250. How are we feeling about the Broncos? Don't talk to me about what it looked like against the Bears. We don't want to hear what you think of the Bears game next weekend.
What about Chicago?
What are we thinking about this weekend? Which is something that we've been talking about all week, how it feels like we're kind of skirting around this thing. So, Josh, why don't you go first? How you feeling?
Oh, boy. I'm very undecided. I feel very up in the air on this. I think that they're both good teams and they both have positives and negatives. I think that, as I've said, no one can beat the Packers but the Packers. But I feel like the Packers are going into this game with some question marks. I mean, the biggest thing, obviously, you're going to have Reed back. You still have Watson, like the wide receiving core is good. But now you don't know about Jacobs. And it appears that LVN might be back, but you're still not sure about that. And also, if he is, he hasn't been on the field in a long time. You still don't know what you're going to get out of LVN.
It feels like they maybe missed on that one. Like his injury was worse.
Yeah.
Than it maybe should have been. I mentioned this before. There's a new lower extremity doctor with the Packers. The old one, who actually did my Achilles surgery, Dr. Bob Johnson, retired. And he was the cat's meow when it came to the lower extremities. And I believe, was it Musgrave that had one in the past? Did he have a foot ankle injury? I believe that kept him out for a while. So hopefully, I'm not throwing Dr. Mike Ryan's a friend of the program. I'm not throwing theirs in the bus, but I just remember that there seems to be a difference in maybe how they look at these things that kind of hang on long term. Because let's be real, if they thought Lucas Van Ness was going to be out this long, they would have put him on at least a short-term IR of some kind. Isn't that a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you would think so. But it seems like all signs are pointing to, like, he's been practicing. It sounds like all signs are pointing to he's going to play. Okay, that's a positive. And then, so as I'm going back and forth, then I start going into the things that aren't as impactful into the game, but just I'm adding into this. So the fact that in the overall series between these two teams, the home team has won almost every time. Then you look at the fact that the Packers haven't won in Denver in almost 20 years. On the other side, you look at the fact that the Packers are wearing their all whites in this game, which they have not lost in yet.
I love that you consider uniforms
Okay.
my favorite thing.
So that's a positive. Then I'm looking at the line and the fact that the Broncos are home dogs. And I think that does play a factor a little bit in just the mindset of a team. It allows them, especially if you know you've won 11 games and you're the home dog against a team, that's saying something. Bo Nix was asked about this, and this was his answer.
I don't really care. My mom thinks we'll win, so that's all that matters.
Hearing that answer, I went, damn. Okay, that's a pro for them.
Oh, crap.
His mom thinks they're going to win. Didn't plan on factoring that in. So there's just a lot of different things that are going at this, and it leaves me completely undecided in this game. I'm very nervous of there being a mistake, a big mistake that happens in this game by this team, by this Packers team, that they don't recover from.
What do you think it's going to be?
I don't
like. Where do you see the weakest link?
I see it as a fumble. I think there's a turnover. There's going to be a turnover that they can't recover from. I think that when Jordan Love threw that interception to start the game against the Bears, it was early. The Packers were able to lock in, bounce back. All of this, I have nothing to go off of that. It's all just feeling and up in the air on this. And I'm kind of with Vegas of it being a coin flip game. And just play it out and see who wins. I know that doesn't work. You need to actually have an answer. The other thing I forgot to mention that's a pro for the Packers. It is
Before my answer. It is
still Toyotathon. Cannot deny Toyotathon is also still happening. So, Mr. Fandom over here.
We got a review.
Hold on. These are all very important parts, people. Are you listening? You have all white uniforms. You got Toyotathon. Okay, those are the pros. The cons, Bo Nix's mom thinks that they're going to win.
Hold on, that's a drop. The con, Bo Nix's mom.
It's real. Okay, so you got to focus on that. You got to look at history, that the home team has won almost every time, and the Packers haven't won there in almost 20 years. Those are the ones on the other side. So it goes back and forth beyond
what about the weather?
The weather is, I think, not a factor for either team. I think it's just supposed to be like a nice day, right? I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's a factor. I'll get to mine.
Okay. So I'm indecisive. I will have a final score when we talk to Andy.
What?
Yeah. Holding my score prediction for Andy. But those are all the things I'm wrestling with right now.
All right. Well, that. You know what that means? You know what that Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, Green Bay and the Fox Valley, Milwaukee, Wausau, Duluth Superior. You know what that means? That means Josh is still undecided.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my pro and con list, and it's going as far as Toyotathon and all white jerseys.
Oh, yeah, Toyotathon. I didn't write that one down.
Oh, you can't forget Toyotathon. Come on.
Toyotathon. Okay, I got it. Bo Nix's mom. Just imagine turning this radio station on. Ready? Bo Nix's mom, white uniforms, history, Toyotathon.
Yeah. I mean, those are the important ones. There's also LVN coming back and Josh Jacobs being injured, but those are legitimate.
I don't know if LVN's coming back, by the way.
Well, that's another factor then.
Yeah. Okay. LVN-ish. Yeah, he's been limited. And LaFleur talked about that in his presser yesterday and how when Matt speaks like this, you can sense his frustrations. We'll ask Andy about this if he's got some inside scoop on what's going on with LVN. It's such a bummer. And I'm not trying to blame Micah Parsons and the holding and all those things on the lack of LVN, but I just can't get out of my head how dominating they were in the beginning of the season. Like, as soon as they had all three of those guys and Devontae Wyatt on the line at the same time, I'm like, holy mother. That's danger.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Oh, an extra pro is that the Denver Broncos strength of schedule didn't look as good. The con to that is that Dario was the one that told us the information. So another pro and con.
Why is that a con?
Because it's from Dario. So, like, come on. He's the ultimate heel.
Got it. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. How are we feeling about this weekend? One word from the 414, optimistic.
Oh, your burner phone texted it.
It's not me.
Oh.
Actually, if you were to click on that number, I'm shocked that person said optimistic.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Not so optimistic is this one. We have a history, by the way, in case you were wondering. All right, so here's how I'm feeling. I badly want, and this I think might be the game. I badly want the Packers to do something crazy good. I want them to show us that Jordan Love really is an MVP candidate. I listened to the Tundra podcast with Matt Schneidman and John Kuhn. Schneid actually put out a clip of this yesterday on his Twitter, at Matt Schneidman. John Kuhn talked on that podcast on how there are so many other potential normal people that would be in the MVP conversation that are MIA this year.
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan Love is very much a candidate to be MVP. He's looking like one, and I seem to think that we very well, geez, am I stroking out? What's going on with my words today? We very well may see Jordan Love in real MVP. He's going to look like an MVP. Will you talk? I can't.
Yeah, well, and I'm trying to hear your reasoning. I just gave my pro and con list.
I think they're going to air the ball out big time.
Yeah.
So the reason I think weather is going to be a factor is because they have a nice day. 60 degrees, sunshine, 325. I mean, that's about as gorgeous as you could ask it to be in Denver. And Josh Jacobs is banged up. So are they going to play this two shell that teams kind of figured out they could play against us and make us pass? Or I should say, make us run. The two shell is kind of a soft zone, right? They dare us to pass. They're making us run. It's a bet on the front. Their front seven and our front seven, that's where the battle is in this game. If Jordan Love has time to throw, game over.
Sure. Do you think he's going to have time to throw against a team with 55 sacks?
I do. And that goes back to Dario and the strength of schedule.
Oh, boy.
Look who they played against.
Your whole argument's hanging on Dario. No. Come on.
I just think it's a tip of the cap to the Packers offensive line. They've been playing really, really well. With all due respect to Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan at center has looked like a G.
Yep.
Has he not?
Yes, he has.
What'd you just knock on?
I knocked on wood.
I think we're going to see Jordan Love aired out. I think they're going to. Here's another problem. I don't think Jacobs is going to play. I don't think you have your star running back get his knee re-scanned on Monday and then have a fluid issue and swelling and not practicing. And then we're thinking he's going to come into this game and be a big-time performer. I don't think he's going to play. I'm not saying that's for a fact, but if I'm playing Sherlock Holmes over here, I don't know if he's going to play. So we're going to have Emmanuel Wilson. They'll attempt to run the ball with Emmanuel Wilson. He's good, by the way. When we missed Josh Jacobs earlier in the season, we didn't miss him much. Emmanuel Wilson had an incredible game.
Yes, he did.
So I'm just saying.
It wasn't against the Denver Broncos, the league-leading division Denver Broncos. But, yes, we did.
I also think the Packers are due. Have we had that game, and I'm not talking about offense anymore, have we had that game where the defense shut out a team? Heard it here first. I'm leading you into my prediction, by the way.
Okay. That's interesting.
I think the Packers defense is going to come unglued this weekend. I think the Packers defense, per some NFL holding calls, I guarantee, you don't like you want to do that, but I guarantee there will be a holding call in Micah Parsons' favor this weekend. I think the Packers win big, and I think the defense shuts them out. Let's go to the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. How are we feeling about this weekend? 414-677-1250. What do you see, Josh?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff here.
There's a lot.
A lot of people jumped right in on your MVP of Jordan Love. conversation. 218 here said Denver's on a 10-game winning streak, so this is the time to beat them. Yeah, that's another factor. That's a factor that would tie in with mine. Yeah.
They're due for a loss.
They're super due. Although the Packers have also won, what, 4 or 5 in a row? So you could make a similar argument. 920 asks how many times we've played there in the last 20 years. Against that, they haven't won there since 2007. 4 times. That's enough. That's enough for that to be on the con list. Stephen G. Town says champions fear nobody, and Josh is right. Only the Packers thus far have beaten the Packers. Agreed.
Yep.
But the reason why that still makes me nervous is because when you're playing against a better opponent, you have less room for error. So if the Packers are going to beat the Packers, going up against a good team makes that more difficult.
What is Jason in the 920 trying to get across here? There's nothing right now in regards to this season of work that says Jordan Love is an MVP. What are you watching, Jay? Our line still sucks. That is my boy right there. That is my boy. He is my Josh Albrecht in my personal life. If I'm
super nice, attractive, awesome, funny dude.
Also that.
Wow.
You've met him. You guys are have a lot.
Yeah, Jason's awesome.
Yeah. So
he's a great guy.
What I mean by that is he does not allow me to be too happy. Just like you go, well, here's the half empty side of life, which I choose to ignore most days.
I'm sure that if I had to grow up hanging out with Dawson, I would have been just as crabby.
Oh, is that what we're going to do? Is that what we're going to do?
Dawson and annoying in the morning?
Yeah. That depends who you ask.
Oh, boy.
Look at this. Good morning, Trevor and Josh. This game has nothing to do with the past games against Denver. We know. I feel really good about this game. The Packers have been getting better every week. They win a very good game. Also, Josh isn't the minister of fandom.
Well,
is this a buddy of yours, I hope?
No, this is someone that's cruising for a bruising.
Yeah, they are.
He's a minister of anxiety. 920 goes on to say, yeah, that's part of being a fan, which I would prefer you not tell me how to. Yeah, obviously there's great feelings going into this game. There were a lot of good feelings going into, if you go back and you watch some of those past Broncos games, it was not like the Packers were struggling in those games. They laid a dud. The last time the Packers played the Broncos and they lost, it should not have been a loss. The Broncos were having a terrible season, and they still came away with a win against the Packers and Jordan Love.
All right, we got to get out of this and get to Andy Herman.
Sure do.
We'll get to our predictions next, plus all the inside scoop from the guy that talks Packers literally every day of his life. The host of the Pack-A-Day podcast, Andy Herman, next here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. 1 week from today, December 19th, Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha presents Brat Bowl 3 at the world-famous Brat Stop down in Kenosha. An all-day live event starting at 9 a.m. with our foes, not friends. No, not friends, foes. From 670 The Score in Chicago. And the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network will be broadcasting live. What could go wrong during Bears Week? The Friday before the Bears. Yeah, everything is right. Brat Bowl 3, Friday, December 19th, starting at 9 a.m. at the iconic Brat Stop down in Kenosha. Remember, bring your new or gently used coats to donate to Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha's annual coat drive. Brought to you by Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha. For a great experience, visit ZieglerKenoshaSubaru.com. And by Siding Unlimited, visit SidingUnlimited.com for their honest price guarantee. We're going through what we see in this weekend's game. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line 414-677-1250. We are attempting to connect with our guy, Andy Herman. Josh, here in Northeast Wisconsin this morning, it is cold. And I know you and I every once in a while wonder what the freezing cold does to the interwebs. We have not been able to get a hold of Andy, but we will here shortly. So, all right, prediction time.
Yeah, let's just do it.
27-0 Packers.
Okay, that's you want to put money on that?
Well, the odds would have to be gigantic on your side.
Yeah. But I mean, you're that confident? You think this is a shutout game for this Packers defense?
Now remember, I bet with my heart.
Yeah. Yep, and that's sure what you're doing here.
I don't like how much Jeff Hafley's in the conversation to be the next head coach of the Giants. It bothers me. But I have a feeling that's going to happen anyway.
I agree.
And I also believe that this defense is due for a turnover touchdown. Meaning there's going to be a pick six in this game. Bo Nix is going to be reminded just how difficult some teams are versus others. Did you say no, Andy?
Yeah, Andy just got a hold of me. He said he's not able to make it on today.
Oh,
So Andy takes a loss. Andy takes a big L. But we will talk to him on Monday.
27-0. Dario really changed everything for me yesterday. It's definitely his fault.
It's crazy.
They haven't played anybody. Their offense is good. Their defense is better. 55 sacks is absurd. 20 more than the Green Bay Packers have. 20.
Okay, but when you look at the Packers, and besides what the Lions and the Bears, who have the Packers beat that are a legitimate threat? Like
Steelers?
Okay.
That's a playoff team.
Okay.
Compare it to who's in the playoffs. Like, who are the legit playoff teams right now? Who's in the AFC? Who's in the NFC? And who have they beaten?
So the three teams that the Broncos have lost to are the Colts, Chargers, and who was the last one? Had to be early, right? Not seeing it.
What are you looking for specifically?
Who did the Broncos lose to? Oh, they only lost 2 games.
Yeah, they're 11-2.
That's why those were the only 2 games. So they lost to the Colts that have completely fallen apart, and the Chargers. Is that what I'm seeing this season?
So the Denver. I'm not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, those are the 2 teams. Besides that, yeah, I get what you're saying. They beat the Eagles, right?
Yay.
Well, they're a playoff team.
Yay.
They are. I'm just saying, this is your argument. You said this. The Texans are currently
7th seed in the AFC.
Okay.
But look at the record. So this all, that's it. This all goes back to record conversation though, too, right? So we talked, here we go back to Chicago for a second. We talked about the Bears having a legit team because of their record. The Packers, because we have the yips, we're not sure if we can look at the losses and go, oh, which team's going to show up. I firmly believe that the Packers have found their groove. If you look at the records, though, of the 2 teams you just dropped, Philly, 8-5, Houston, 8-5. Are those good wins or are those laissez-faire teams all of a sudden? Packers took it close to the Eagles, but I still think we were in our yip stage of the season. I mean, my God, after that loss, it was like everybody's head was on the platter.
But the reason why I'm not buying that as an argument is because going into the Packers-Bears game, everyone was saying that the Bears were paper tigers. I mean, not me, but a lot of people were saying that they weren't legitimate, And then you actually said on the way out that you still thought that was proof that the Bears weren't who I thought that they weren't legit.
I still don't think they are.
Okay, so if you take the Bears out of it as one of those playoff teams that the Packers have beaten, you have the Steelers, Eagles, and that's it. The Lions on the cusp. So you could make the same argument against the Packers in terms of scheduling and who they beat. You can only beat the teams that you play. That's it. So I don't know that I can necessarily.
Thanks, Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, you bet. And so I'm not necessarily using that as an argument. And I think it's almost more impressive that even against bad teams, you still found a way to win 10 weeks in a row. That's an impressive feat.
I think they're due. Will they score? Maybe. But I think the Packers win, and I think it's a 2-score win, at least. I think it's 3. I think this is a really, really big game. I think Jordan Love becomes the machine that we think he could be, and he's going to show it. I'm talking like 300-plus passing yards, potentially 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think he's only going to get sacked once. I think the Packers will have a defensive score, whether it's special teams, which we're due for that as well.
Yeah.
Or a pick 6. I mean, our defense secondary is playing really good right now. Really good. I know we have our moments, but every team has their moments.
Do you think what Keyshawn Nixon do you think we get this week?
A mouthy one?
You think we get one that has a lot of my bads? That's on me? Or last minute heroics?
I'm a little bit more concerned if he can keep his head on straight, because he got a little ahead of the skis in the last game, but he had a great end to the game, obviously.
Correct.
I think we get a good Keyshawn Nixon. The only thing that concerns me is we don't often play in Denver, and playing at that level of altitude changes things. They're used to it. We're not. It's a beautiful day, sunny, 60, 3:25 in the afternoon on Sunday. Like, it's not like nobody doesn't have rest. It's a quicker turnaround for the Packers next week. The Bears are playing in the freezing cold this weekend, so that's on them.
Yeah, but they're also playing the Browns.
What's your score?
I'm going to go Packers 28-27. I think it's going to be literally, I don't even know how I'm going to get there, but I think it's just going to be so close and a stressful game the entire time.
Wow. All right, tell me more. I mean, can we piece together how they get 28 and how they get 27?
I'm looking at it like this. I think that these two teams, everyone's saying that this matchup could be a Super Bowl preview. If you can't say it's going to be a Super Bowl preview and then also say that these teams or one of the teams has gotten there because their strength of schedule wasn't that great and blah, 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 blah. You can't say that. You can't have both of those arguments, because then that paper tiger team would lose in the playoffs. So if we're thinking that this could be a Super Bowl preview, that means that this should be a hard-fought game, and both sides are going to be able to take advantage of opportunities that are made. I definitely think that this defense gets through and gets to Jordan Love. Maybe he doesn't get sacked, but he's going to have a ton of throwaways. And I don't know that the only thing that is saving me in my mind in a difference between Myles Garrett coming for Jordan Love and whoever and everyone coming for the Broncos for Jordan Love is that now Jordan Love has Christian Watson and Jaden Reed in that game. And so that should be a nice change for those type of quick slant routes that they'll have to run, because Jordan Love will be rushed a lot. The other thing that worries me, though, that's going back to my pro and con list, this is what I'm saying. I could do this all day, is I saw Jordan Love when he had to roll out of the pocket and he was on the run. The throws that he was making weren't as accurate. That was a feather in the cap of Caleb Williams in comparison to what Jordan Love was doing. Jordan Love was way better in the pocket, but when he had to roll out, not as much. Well, I don't think Jordan Love's going to have as much time in the pocket in this game. So those are all factors that I'm looking into and reasons why I think this is going to be super close. I still think the Packers come away with it as long as Matt LaFleur keeps this aggressive mindset and trusts the talent on the field, and the Packers don't beat the Packers. But it's going to be a close game.
28-27 is what Josh says. I say 27-0. That shouldn't surprise you one bit. Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. What do you think the final score will be of the Broncos-Packers game on Sunday? You got one?
Yeah, 414 here said, on one hand, we hear there is so much parity. On the other, with certain teams, we say they haven't played anyone. Those two concepts are not compatible. Denver is good, just like the Bears. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you can make both arguments personally, but that's the 414's opinion. Also 414, different 414 says 23-10 Denver. Love throws 2 picks and loses a fumble. I don't think there's any way that Jordan Love has that bad of a game. Not during Toyotathon. You're forgetting it's Toyotathon. He's not losing the ball 3 times.
You're forgetting. Hey, in case you were forgetting, it's Toyotathon.
Jason in the 920 says, I'll take the Broncos and I'll give you the 2.5 points.
I just told him to stop running his mouth via text and call in.
Oh, boy.
I did. He's going to say, oh, I can't. I'm working. Well, then, see, hopefully he calls in.
The 715 here says, I'm as skeptical on Love as anyone. And though maybe not the presumptive MVP, he belongs in the conversation. That's Garrett and Tomahawk. Happy to have found us. Thanks, Garrett.
Must be listening in Wausau.
920 said LaFleur is 21-4 in December games as a head coach. Yeah, LaFleur also enjoys Toyotathon, by the way.
Eric from Eagle, 14-9 Packers. It's going to be a defensive showdown. Josh, do you think that we have a chance of seeing a holding call?
Yes, I'm expecting at least one. I'm expecting at least one in Micah Parsons' favor. I don't think they're going to overcorrect the way that you think, because you said earlier in the show that you think that they're going to go just balls to the walls and make a complete overcorrection. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that's still going to be too difficult, especially in this type of game where it's going to be so defensive heavy. But he'll get one.
Do you think, though, that the Packers actually break through and he has a bunch of sacks?
No, I don't know that he has a bunch of sacks, but I think he's going to break through. I think he's going to force Bo Nix out of the pocket. I think it's going to be very similar to Caleb, what the game plan was with Caleb Williams. He's going to be pressured a lot. My hope is that LVN plays, and then if he's pressured, it's into LVN because Gary's not getting there.
Well, I think the talking is done. Now we just have to play the game. I think the Packers come out and really shock the world. That's what I used to say about my tournament softball team. Why not us? Let's shock the world. Shock the world. I think they're going to shock the world. I don't think that Broncos are as good as their record. Shocker. That's exactly how I felt about the Bears. Turns out I was right on that one. I think
the Bears still played a good game.
It doesn't matter. They're not as good as their record. I don't care. And by the way, we could argue that, and I think we're going to do a lot of that next week because I'm going to go back and watch that Bears game. Yeah. I don't think they played nearly as good as you think they did at all. Caleb Williams was horrendous. That was close.
Well, he was sure on the field a lot, and so was our defense.
Yeah, that doesn't mean they played a good game. It just means that they were able to make more first downs.
Yeah, not forcing a lot of 3-and-outs.
Packers 24, Broncos 16. Our offensive line has to play well. Christian Watson needs to show Patrick Surtain what the future looks like. That's David in Pewaukee. And here's one from the 612, and then we'll get to a break. To say this game is going to be 27-0 burger is delusional. 23-20, says this fan in the 612.
Yeah.
I hear you're delusional, and I say, let's shock the world.
You say maybe right, but
maybe. All right, when we come back, there's one thing happening this weekend outside of the Packers game, and then we want to talk a little what's up Wisconsin. Josh and I are both big WWE fans. I'll explain why I am in the next segment, and Josh will too. It's John Cena's last match on Saturday night, and that's worth talking about Does it have anything to do with Wisconsin? Maybe a little. I've seen some WWE stuff here in Wisconsin
Yeah, I
that
can
made
find
me
a way.
fall in love with it. At the end of the day, it's a big thing in sports. Wrestling isn't a sport. It's get over it. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking Text Line, 414-677-1250. Keep your predictions coming. Back in a bit. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Here we go. It's a little different. It's a little different when he says his time is up. My time is now. John Cena wrestles his last match on Saturday night in the WWE. Now, pause. Already, people on the Nicolay Law talking text line are like, ooh, covering the WWE. Here we go. No. There's a lot more of you out there that watch along with the WWE than you're willing to admit. What is it for you, Josh? When did you fall in love with wrestling?
I mean, it was when I was a kid.
You've watched it since then?
My dad. Well, I've been very on and off throughout the years as the product has become stale, and then if I have time, but then usually I get brought back in. I haven't missed I didn't miss a WrestleMania for a long time. Like, it just became a thing. My dad and I would do it for a while, and then buddies and I especially the Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view. So, like, even right now, I think the product's pretty stale beyond this being John Cena's
But you
last
don't
match.
keep up on it every week anymore?
No. However, as soon as the Royal Rumble happens, I'll be right back in. Because it's just like the Royal Rumble is so great, and then it leads into WrestleMania, and then WrestleMania is a big, like, they highlight everything you might have missed from the storylines leading up to it. And then, there's the Raw after WrestleMania, and then you're usually back for a little bit if they can get you to SummerSlam. And so that's kind of how it's always been for me. But, man, I've been seeing a lot of different clips and things really that the cool. WWE have been doing for John Cena. And I love the dude. Like, the way that this was not just another guy that went to be a movie star. Like,
right.
He has been beyond that and still hold true to who he is the entire time. The number one donator to or going to visit kids for Make-A-Wish is not the WWE. It's John Cena. Mm-hmm. More than companies, it's John Cena. The one dude alone. I mean, that's insane. And to see just how long he's been able to do this, it's just kind of crazy that it's ending. I don't know.
48 years old, still a brick you-know-what house.
Yeah.
The guy is just jocked.
Yeah.
Listen, I've shared on this show before, I'm all in WWE because my youngest got me on it. He's not a sports fan.
Yep.
His name is Riker. And he said, Dad, let's watch the WWE together, to which I'm like, done. You got it, buddy. Something I can connect with you on. Here's the crazy part. I love it. I love it because it's like, it's my reality TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I understand it's scripted, but I still don't know what's coming next.
Someone tweeted at me yesterday when I posted a video of John Cena at Honor Josh, by the way. And he said, like, I don't understand the fascination with it if you know it's not real.
Yeah, I saw that.
I put up the meme of because it's absolute cinema. It's the not knowing what's going to happen and then seeing it play out. I make the comparison to Julie all the time because she'll say, I don't understand how you can watch this. And I said, it's no different than your Real Housewives shows.
Bingo.
It's reality TV, but they're, doing high flying action, but it's storylines. It's the storylines and they get you invested in them. And John Cena having the career he has, being who he is, has been a hell of a storyline.
I'm completely up on every storyline there is. All of them. We don't miss a show. I watch Raw every week. I watch SmackDown every week. And we do not miss a PLE, what is that? PLE.
Yeah, paid live event, which, by the way, I can watch now.
Why? What'd you do?
They sent me an email. They were like, hey, through your cable package, you now qualify. And I linked it. I know. I just got it randomly. I don't know what the hell took them so long, but I got it. And now it doesn't even matter for Saturday because Saturday's on Peacock.
Do you have Peacock?
Yeah, I still have it, but I'm like, oh, come on.
Will you forward me that email? What cable package do you have where I have to pay for ESPN Plus Premium or whatever the hell it is?
It's AT&T Uverse, which is essentially DirecTV.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
I used to. I have YouTube TV.
Yep,
all right, last thing on Cena, and then we're going to go, what's up, Wisconsin? Prediction. Does he win?
Oh, God.
I know.
If it's against Gunther, yes, he wins.
Oh, yeah, curveball.
Gunther does not need a push. I'm really hoping that they swerve. I don't even care how they swerve. I just want them to swerve some way. I know a lot of people are hoping edge. That'd be cool, but I don't care. Bring on anybody else. I just want them to swerve this somehow.
What's up, Wisconsin? Here we go. What do you got going on this weekend? Tell us. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250.
Trevor and Josh want to know.
What's up?
What's up, Wisconsin?
What's up?
What's your plan for the day?
What's up?
What are you doing tonight?
What's up?
Let us know what's up on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Josh, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, it's Friday. And so on Fridays, I always go to Natty Oaks and get that big old bowl of chili. Literally on like Tuesday, I was like, man, I could really go for some chili. And I was like, nope, I got to wait. I got to wait till Friday. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go and get it until after 9 to noon today because I'm filling in for Brandon. So I'm pulling the double duty this Friday.
Did you see the text earlier? Can random listeners join Josh for a big old bowl of chili at Natty Oaks?
This is the craziest text. Yes, they are a public establishment. Yeah. Anyone can go in and enjoy a bowl of chili. It's not a private setting just for me, and I encourage you to. Go try it.
The 920 says burning a lot of wood this weekend. It is cold in Wisconsin, and it is going to get colder in Wisconsin.
That's
High
true.
of 12 on Sunday, I think. Good thing we're in Denver for the game. It'd be wicked here.
Yeah, but I almost wish that was the case. Let it be cold for the game.
Well, you'll be surprised to hear that we're going to watch the WWE Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
On Saturday. It is also the Christmas program weekend in the Thomas household.
Uh-huh. Do they overlap at all?
Well, there's one at 3 and one at 5. And we get to go to one and pick them up after the other. My mom's coming into town for 2 nights.
Okay. Is that good?
She's awesome.
Okay, good.
I love her. Yeah, it's awesome. And she's going to go to the basketball game. So we have a basketball game tonight. We have the Christmas program tomorrow. We have WWE on Saturday night. We have Packers on Sunday. I was going to tell you what we're doing Sunday morning, but I'm trying to surprise screw it. We're taking Amanda out for brunch. She doesn't know it. She knows it now.
Surprise.
Me and the boys are we are going to surprise mom with brunch. This is what the hard part about being live on the radio every day. Like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, we're going to take my wife out for brunch on Sunday. Does she know that? Sure doesn't.
Sure,
now she does.
She does now.
Son.
Yeah, that's why you have to have your show that's why you have to have your nickname be annoying. And then your wife just won't listen. She won't listen to the show, and then you can say whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
Oh, whoops.
You'll get there.
The only win for Denver on Sunday, the coin flip. Mike and Hubertus. I completely agree. Mike? All right, man. The talking's over.
Jacob in a van said, working on my father-in-law's sports car over the weekend, and then very excited to watch John Cena's last match. All on Saturday. 608 said, making Christmas cookies with the fam on Saturday. Then Sunday, hiding in the garage while my boys' friends and mom are over. Thank God for a propane heater. I'm not dealing with that. I'm going to go make sure everything's working in the garage.
Jason in the 920, getting a dog. What are you going to name it?
Dawson, after his childhood friend.
Oh, punch you. All right, Packers Broncos. Here we go. 11-2 versus 9-3-1. Does the record matter? We're going to find out on Sunday. Make sure to tune in Monday morning. It is a green and gold Monday. We will be wall-to-wall Packers when we get back. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Because we're not done yet.